Darkness here. Yeah, let's play some Star Wars Battlefront 2 because I have time to waste until my next class. And what I really wanted to talk about was why is EA bringing back loot boxes? Now, they released an official statement as to why they are, because the game hasn't done enough sales as they expected, so they want to bring loot boxes in to make up for those sales. But, you know, it's hard to believe that because loot boxes played a large part in why this game didn't sell so well. Now, I've put a lot of hours into this game since it launched, and I have a lot of star cards, and I like to think that sometimes I do really good in these matches, but it's I don't know how much of it's skill and how much of it is because I have upgraded my stuff so much to the point that, well, it's unfair to players who don't have the said star cards that I have. I'm terrible at playing as the Empire in the First Order. I think I'm just plain terrible at flying TIE fighters to begin with. But yeah, so it's very concerning that that's the excuse they give to bring loot boxes back into this game. I mean, I'm not fully supportive of the star card system, but I have not bought a real loot box with real money. I think having to play the game and earn the points to buy said loot boxes is it's certainly better than being able to just for those with disposable income to just shit out a lot of money into this game just to get better cards. Now, there's also a system in this game that makes sure that you don't get certain cards until you reach a certain point or you do something specific, which is another thing. I think it's great to keep that fair, but even then, being able to pour just a lot of money into those loot boxes, I mean, you're still getting a shit ton of star cards, and you're still getting a shit ton of points. So I still don't see why it's coming back. I certainly understand the company's decision. Well, not the company's decision, on how they originally wanted to incorporate the loot boxes. And as I said, I was all for it at first, especially when they said, well, there are limitations. No matter how much you buy, if you haven't played the game a certain amount, or if you haven't done this or done that, then don't expect much out of them. But, you know, at that point, it's still giving an edge to the players putting money into it over those who are putting time into it. I mean, I've had to put so much time in just saving up money for star cards to make myself good. So people who are coming into the game or who have not put so much time in are buying those star cards right away, putting them right on, and are getting better gradually faster than I did for just earning the in-game currency. Which, I mean, that's not saying much since practically everyone at this point in the game, unless you played a shit ton of the beta, you had to play the game regularly to get to where you are. So I think it's unfair to all of us when it comes to that. Forgive me if this new map is not my best. Playing TIE Fighters is not my best. Hopefully I'll get in a X-Wing match before I have to leave for class. And these bubbles are great. Oh, it canceled out before I got into it. That's what I like. Oh, leave me alone. Okay. Alright, yeah, I just entered hell. I don't know if hell exists or what it's like, but if it does, and if it's like anything, I bet it's like this. Shield is down. I'm certainly not one of those people who just hate on this game, obviously. I have a couple friends like that, and just want to hate on it. I mean, in reality, this is a solid Star Wars game. It's the best looking Star Wars game to date in terms of graphics. But I mean, they did do a lot right. All the homages, I didn't think the story was horrible. I thought, well, it was a little choppy. I mean, it skips around so much. It's hard to actually care about the characters. But you know, where the story ends and its connection to the movies, I think, you know what, that's fine enough. And the way I look at it is, in all honesty, is that whether or not you play this game doesn't ruin anything. You don't have to play this game for any, like, super necessary information. I mean, you could literally Google up anything that's relevant to the films if you're absolutely curious. Like, in The Last Jedi, Luke, it cuts to a compass that Luke has on his shelves when he's on Act 2. And, this game briefly shows you how he comes by that compass. Which, to a lot of people, I don't think that's even going to matter. And at this point, like maybe the 2 people who watch my stream, no one's really going to care. Enemy to my rear. Oh, there he is. I much prefer X-Wings. X-Wings are, like, to me, were more designed to do this run and gun. Hit it a couple times, leave it alone. They have more survivability in comparison to the TIE fighters. Come on, let's move, let's move. Ah. Got that one. See, as you can tell in this bubble, I have no control over my speed. I try to keep as slow as possible because it is fluctuating. But that happens. Pushes me into the wall. Wait, hold on. We got Kylo Ren's ship. Not my best ship, but, you know, let's use it. Use it while we can. I certainly, yeah, like I said, I certainly understand why people are upset with this game, but I think they've taken it too far. You know, EA only sold 9 million copies, a million less than what they were expecting, and you know, if you didn't sell 10 million copies, you can't blame the gamers. You can't, you know, if you can't make 9 million a success, so that's why you have to bring back loot boxes. I think that's your issue as a developer. It's I mean, I don't know. To me, that's pretty silly. Oh, come on, stupid fluctuating fluctuator fluxing thing. Like I said, I put a lot of hours into this game. I really enjoy it. I've been playing it. I ignored it for maybe about a month. But I came back to it, and it's especially these Starfighter maps. I love. My one buddy, he's pretty upset that they didn't do the whole, you know, PS2 Battlefront 2 thing where you could enter ships and stuff. And I agree to an extent. Oh, my voice just cracked. Like I said, forgive me, I'm really sick. I agree, certainly to an extent. I think that would be absolutely amazing if they could incorporate that kind of thing into... Oh, I'm first place. Well, look at that. I've got 2 kills and I'm first place. But we didn't do good, so what does it matter? But yeah, I think it would have been really neat, but I think it would have been really hard to implement that, especially when you play the original Battlefront 2. And how they made it like that, well, one, the maps were so much smaller, so it was doable. And obviously the graphics were blah. But being able to board other ships and stuff would certainly add a lot of fun to this game. But, you know, you have to think back, you could board enemy ships and stuff. And I think doing that in online multiplayer, especially how EA's been handling the game. I think it could be done right, but I think under the current developers, it could not have been. It would have been mass confusion, and it just would have... I think a lot of people would have complained about it. And, you know, in doing that, I think it would have made Starfighter maps a lot smaller. And I certainly think the objectives that we do have are really fun. Like I said, I'm not a particular fan of this map. So... But I love, shit. What's that planet's name? I'm a Star Wars fan, I swear. The planet with the Camino. Yeah, Camino. The planet with the cloning facility. That's a really fun planet to play as on, no matter what side you are. Uh, you know, and that one's not technically it's not really in space. It's more on the planet, but still. And I mean, that's another huge thing up from the first game. This game is actually in space. None of the battles in Battlefront 1 on the PS4, you know, one, they were just incredibly dull. I couldn't believe how dull they really were. It was just a team deathmatch in a big open space. Hopefully one person got the token to play as the Millennium Falcon or the Slave One. And it was just a bunch of nothingness. We're here, we are in space most of the time, and we got objectives. And, you know, it's that objectives part that makes me really enjoy. It's not just a senseless team deathmatch in ships. So being able to, have an objective to fight for. Like, we gotta defeat 133 of these dudes to win. And they gotta destroy our shields. But there's like different layers. So getting in there and getting kills is important. It's not just mindless fun. We got to really dwindle their numbers, or they're gonna fuck us up. All right. Certainly, one thing I'd like to add more to my X-wing is its speed. So maybe I'll just go quiet for a little bit and really focus on getting these kills. Here we go. Scared him off. Overheated though. Ah, I got a kill assist. That's what matters. Got him. Got him. Here he is. But yeah, it's just EA has handled this game poorly. I think DICE wanted to do a lot, and they certainly have, and they've certainly cared about the franchise. Oh, missile on my ass. So I think when I'm just gonna plain out say that Star Wars fans are the most toxic, awful thing on this planet. I mean, they are so judgmental and awful. It really upsets me sometimes how much Star Wars fans act like they own the property and that they know what's best for the franchise. It amazes me. You know, I love The Last Jedi. There are things I certainly wasn't expecting, and that's what I loved most about it. And I don't know, like Luke's character I like. Making Luke Skywalker more of a human to me is great. I mean, Luke shouldn't be chaotic good all the time. I mean, I think the biggest complaint about Star Wars before these movies was Star Wars is so generic and so cliche. Yeah. So when it goes outside of that, I mean, to squeeze any amount of originality, when I say originality, I mean originality within the Star Wars universe, to squeeze any originality out of it by the 8th film, I think deserves praise. I mean, The Last Jedi took risk, was everything new to the Star Wars universe, and I think that's that's important to factor in. I watch every Star Wars film as part of the whole story. I know more is coming. I know. Excuse me. Looking for targets. I know more are coming, and I know that you know, what am I trying to say here? It's all about the overarching story.
Let the Force guide my hand.
Enemy starfighters eliminated.
Come here, Kylo.
Flying close to the generators is dangerous if you don't know how to put their effects to good use.
You're not Kylo. You are Kylo. I just killed my grandson. I mean, my nephew. I'm not Darth Vader. Darth. Oh, here it comes.
Don't let the enemy near the generators.
Sucks about playing a hero ship is that everyone's on your ass. Looking for a good opportunity to get someone. Got one. Shields activating up. No point in going in there. It's okay.
Bet they didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I shouldn't have ran into that because now they're on me. Get off his ass.
We're losing those generators. We can't take much more of this.
Target down.
As you see, I'm much better with an X-Wing. But once again, I have star cards, and this is Luke Skywalker, so I don't know how much of it's skill, or how much of it I'm just better because of the star cards. I don't think we're going to get those 42 kills in time. We did save that at the last minute, so that was nice.
We've nearly held back their advance wave. If we just take out a few more of their fighters, our people should be able to escape.
Nice shooting. We're gonna lose.
Oh, we did it! Holy shit! I finished second place.
Held them
Pretty
off
good.
as long as we can. Our people will live to fight another day.
Alright. Guess we'll end it there. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice to talk about it and not have everyone complain about me. So, I probably don't, but I'd like to, if I might have enough money for another loot box. I know it sounds hypocritical of me, but you know, like I said, I've put the hours into the game, and I've certainly earned the star cards, whether or not I agree if they should be implemented into this game or not. So I feel a little less guilty when I buy them. Not to mention I bought the deluxe edition for $80, so. Ah, it's a little off. But we do have a daily crate, and that's nice. Let's see what we got. Oh, I already have every card for Darth Vader. I'm not even. Ah, so close to 400. Those are the only crates I'll buy, are the $400 ones. Yeah, my Darth Vader is probably my strongest one. I'm sure you've seen stronger if you're watching this, or you know. But here are all his star cards I have, and you know, we have a good time. Pushing and punishing, grim, intensified lightsaber throw. So in other words, my force choke ability is nasty. Yeah. Clearly play him the most. There's no one on the hero side that I really like playing. But yeah, on that note, I think that was a short, sweet broadcast, and see you.